we are in Ottawa hosting an exhibition at Parliament to showcase the violation of human rights that are occurring in Iran. So why was he in prison?
I think everybody knows about his
Yes.
case. Yeah, like he came back to Iran in 2008.
Right.
And they kidnapped him off the street. And like after 3 months, they told us that it's because he's designing a pornographic website, which is not true.
Okay.
They didn't show any evidence against
Right.
him. The only evidence against him is the false confessions, which were taken under like torture, physically and psychologically.
Right.
So like what he did was he was a freelance web designer, developer. So like it was he designed an upload program, and he put it on his site, on his website, like for trial. He just wanted to improve that program, and I think somebody used that program in a pornographic website. But like as I said, and I always say,
Yes.
there is no evidence to that.
Right.
So just false confessions. He never had a fair trial.
Trial,
Never.
yes.
Never. He didn't have access to a lawyer.
Right.
He was in solitary confinement for 5 years, and he was under torture for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
So his jaw is broken. He can't prove it right now.
Wow.
And he's sentenced to death twice. So like, and our family, we were under pressure. That's why I had to leave Iran. During that time, it was before presidential election,
Yeah.
and it wasn't any cyber army in Iran.
Yes.
They wanted to start a cyber army in Iran to kind of like make fear among, especially among like young people, to don't use internet.
Yeah.
They wanted to see that how internet could be
Like this is what will happen.
yeah. So that's
Oh my gosh.
Said was one of the first victims, unfortunately, and he said like if I came back to Iran like 2 years later, a year later, never happened. It wouldn't happen to me.
Yeah.
So like yeah, it was his bad luck.
Is there anything that like the Canadian government has done to try and help him and people like him?
Like conservative government, like they did some movement,
Right.
which was really helpful. Liberals are like sent letters and taught to like most of the special people. They're not responsive. They're responsive, and I don't know why. The only excuses I've heard is because he's permanent resident,
Right.
and he's not Canadian citizen.
Right, so it's not their responsibility. Kind
Yes,
of thing.
but like the former government, they adopted Saeed as a Canadian citizen.
Right.
Because if he didn't came back to Iran, he would have been a Canadian citizen.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
So yeah, I think it's just an excuse, and I think like it's really helpful. They bring his name in there.
Yes, exactly. I attempted to get an interview with Richmond Hill's Liberal MP, Majid Jawhari, but he declined to answer my questions on camera. So one of the big things that this group is fighting for is against the Islamic regime's execution of minors. According to UN reports, March 2016, as of, there's been about 160 minors on death row held in Iran. So we were wondering if we could get a few words of your opinion on that.
Well, as you know, this is a very, very systematic
Yes.
issue. It's an issue that a lot of human rights organizations are rightly focused on, and it's an issue that I think we should all stand up on. Make sure that the Iranian government knows that people are concerned, and that they are demanding that they refrain from engaging in such types of activity. course.
So how do you think the Canadian government can kind of, like, where is their place in this kind of thing? How can they get involved?
Well, what I do know is that as a country, we've always cared about human rights.
Yes, definitely.
That we're never supposed to compromise on those things. It's one of the elements of our approach towards every single country. It's not the only element, obviously, but it is something that we take very, very seriously. And I've known this given the fact that we do have, for example, in the case of Iran, there are a number of dissidents that we have all heard of. I know that officials are very much concerned about them. For example, the two most prominent examples, I would say, so far as the Iranian community is concerned, and it really is thanks to the hard work of so many people. One would definitely be Said Malikpour.
And also, I just talked to his sister.
So I think it's incumbent upon the Iranian community to remain active, to do everything they can to raise public awareness, and of course, if the Iranian community does that, then officials will take cases very seriously.